What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Savior Smith, and I'm super duper excited to be joined here today with Mr. Patrick Linton. He is a local Houston financial advisor that's been able to help people create budgets, create systems, and solve problems within their financial personal economy. So it's definitely going to be a very educating episode. And of course, we want to have as much fun as possible when we talk about just the different mindset, who he is, and kind of what he does and how he can help anyone that's looking to get more help in their financial economy, or I like to say your personal finances.
Indeed. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Hello. Pay attention, listeners. I hope y'all are paying attention today because I'm not going to say anything spectacular, but I'm going to drop some gems on you that you may or may not have heard before and, tell you guys what I do for the people.
Absolutely. And also, man, just because they may just be tuning in for the first time, man, could you tag yourself where they can follow you at and just give them a little information about who you are and what you do?
Gotcha. So my IG is probably the best way to reach me. I got Twitter and all that cool stuff. But other than LinkedIn, right, you can look me up on LinkedIn, Patrick Linton. Work for Dawson Financial. Instagram, however, is the easiest way to get in touch with me is P4 Profits, P, the number 4, then the word profits, okay? And in terms of what I do, man, I'm a financial advisor. I kind of have like a double-sided story, if you will. I started as my own producer or my own advisor, which means I was a trailblazer. I was one-on-one, right? I was my own man. I didn't really have a team. I was my team, right? I did everything myself, from the paperwork to the meetings to the calls, right? To getting people on the phone and getting them in the office. But now I work on a bigger team. I work for an advisor. His name's Doug Dawson. He's been in the financial advisory business, the wealth management business, the private wealth client business, right? Just working with all sorts of different type of people, high net worth individuals. So I work on his team as a director of client services. All that means is instead of being able to serve one person or one person serving the client, now we got a team of people serving our clients. So,
okay, lit. So it's more like a camaraderie effect, if you would say. It's just more like a team that you're getting access to.
Exactly. So, I mean, if I could shout out the whole team, right? We got Doug, who's been in the industry for like 20 plus years. We got Alex, who's our lead advisor or our lead planner, right? So he does a lot of the behind the scenes numbers and stuff like that. We got Jag, who's our investment guy, Rob and Hunter, who do a couple of different things for us, and then me, and I'm the director of client services. So kind of the back end paperwork type of stuff, case prep, things like that. So yeah.
So what was it like for you growing up? Just kind of in the background, just a little bit about family. Just how would you exposed to just life as a kid?
Right. So just to keep it real, just honest, keep it a buck, right? From Houston, born and raised, not the other Houston, right? Not Klein, not Cypress, not League City. Like I'm from the city, man. You know what I'm saying? So grew up in a 2-parent household, which is a blessing, right? Because a lot of people that look like you and me, we don't always get that experience. My dad was a teacher and a assistant principal, and my mom was actually a banker or an investment banker. So I'd always had that background, but I didn't know that that's what I wanted to do. Then, after I graduated college, I worked in the restaurants for a little bit, and through a couple of failed entrepreneurial, I shouldn't say failed, but learning experience in the entrepreneurial realm, I ended up as a financial advisor because 1, I love talking to people, right? 2, there's always something to learn, and I feel like, hey, if I'm gonna be going to work for at least 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, let me learn about something or let me do something I'm really interested in, right? Never really looked at myself as an employee per se or a 9-to-5 cookie cutter type of guy. So I wanted to be able to do something that was going to help me. I was going to be able to help other people, and I wanted to be in the finance space. So it really just, looked out perfect.
Okay, that's lit. Okay, cool. So when did you realize that finances were going to be more so a professional decision for you? Like what made you say, you know what, I'm going to dive more full-time into this?
Definitely. So I applied a lot of different places, but actually my family we have a financial advisor. His name's Sam, right? Sam Schlanger. My dad met him a long time ago, and I remember going into his office and like sitting there, not paying attention while my parents talked, right? Playing my Game Boy, right? I was probably playing like Pokemon or something stupid, right? And it's crazy because Sam still works at the company that I work for. So now it's like full circle. It's like, not only did I remember my parents sitting in this chair, but now I got other parents sitting in my chair, right? And they bringing their kids, right? Or we talking about their kids, right? So once I kind of got, once I got through my interview process and put two and two together, I'm like, oh, Sam works here. Like, this is where my family, like, blah, blah, blah. And I really just felt like, hey, this is where I'm really supposed to be at. You know, God put me in this situation for a reason. So, yeah, that's how it ended up.
Okay, lit. So were there any entrepreneur examples, any business owners in your family growing up?
A lot of hustlers, but as far as, you know, business owners, I got an uncle who owns a lot of real estate properties. I mean, 10 plus homes, right? And they might not all be, you know, super nice River Oaks, West U properties, but with real estate, it's just another asset class, right? People want to invest in stocks, people want to invest in crypto, this, that, and the third, but people don't understand, like, real estate is an asset class. Real estate is something you can invest in, and it's an asset that holds value. So he might not be, you know, Warren Buffett, but he has quite a few homes, right? So he's definitely somebody I look up to. I got another cousin who's in the restaurant game. He has a restaurant along with a couple of nonprofits and things like that. So I really look up to them and say, hey, when I'm that age, I better at least be doing that good, right? So yeah, those are a couple of people in my family I look up to.
Okay, lit. Okay, cool. Okay, so now my next question is, did you go to school for like economics or finances, but specifically?
So yeah, I went to school for business management. Okay. Actually, let me not lie. I went to school for accounting, right? And halfway through college, I said, hey, accounting's really boring. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I looked at my credits and I said, hey, I can get into this business stuff with all the same classes because I have to carry these credits over anyway. So I kept my accounting major, right? Still got that accounting background, still know how to do my ledgers and this, that, and the third. But I just went on the business route, right? So I kind of did go to school for it, but I ended up, you know, in the business realm.
Okay. That's it. Okay, so how long have you been in the business? How many years has it been?
It's been 2 years. I was 2 years as my own producer, right? So I was grounding it out for 2 years.
Okay.
And then this is about my 6th month with Doug with Dawson Financial. So, you know, about 2.5 years going on 3.
Okay, lit. Okay, so now, man, for the people that's tuning in, you know, so they can get a more detailed description of what you do, man. What are some services you offer? You know, what benefits do you have specifically just for being interested, partnering, or working with you, man?
For sure. So to preface my answer to that question, right, I like to say that, you know, when you're sick, what do? Go to the doctor, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right, you go to the doctor. Or when your car is messed up, you go to the mechanic, right? Or even if you just want to make sure your car is doing well, you take it to the mechanic. If you want to make sure you get a routine checkup, you go to the doctor. Same thing with finances, man. Like, a lot of people have this stigma in their head that financial advisors are out here to take like a percentage of your money or this, that, and the third. Like, nobody works for free. Of course, there's going to be commission or some sort of fee, yada, yada. But what we do for our clients is saying, hey, we're looking at what you have, what type of assets you have, what type of income you have, what type of goals you have for yourself. And then we reverse engineer that to say, hey, this is where you want to be in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Let's have a plan to work backwards, right? To make sure not only that you get there, but that you get there safely and you get there effectively, right? Efficiently, right? So everybody's going to make some money. Everybody's going to go to work and make money. But what are those dollars doing for you? You know what I'm saying? Employed money, right? Like, what are those dollars doing for you in the background? Right? Are those dollars working hard for you? Are you getting to your goal quick? Or are you going to be 50, 60, not prepared for retirement? So that's what we do for our clients in a nutshell. And I'm sure we're going to dive into to the nuts and bolts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's great, man, because a lot of people may not know that they can create a budget. A lot of people think that you need a lot of money to have a financial advisor, you know what I'm saying, that you need to be making six figures to budget your money. But in all honesty, you know, it's something that's beneficial to you. If you can organize, if you can adapt, if you can plan, you know, life is going to be, of course, it's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Life is tough, but it's going to be a lot more smoother, you know, when you're educated on financial literacy, you know. So that leads me directly into my next question, man. How do you feel about financial literacy, you know, and what pushes you to educate yourself and just grow in that area?
Gotcha. So I feel like that was like a two-part question, so I'm gonna break it down. The last thing you asked was what motivates me to continue to educate myself, right? I really feel like I've been real blessed. God has. I'm still trying to work on exactly what my purpose is, but I feel like God has a lot of light towards where I'm supposed to be headed. Because you know my friends, you know Jeff, you know Justice, you know Josh, and you know Joe. All J names, right? So keep track. But every single one of them is interested in financial literacy, and you know, sometimes we go out to a bar, we might have a drink. Other nights we get on FaceTime, we get on the phone, we text, and we're saying, hey, so what are we gonna learn today? Or hey, we saw this video. I think this is gonna be really good for you, Justice, because we know you're in the real estate game and we want you to save some money on taxes. And Justice, you know, just out of the respect that he has for us, he's gonna say, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. And by the way, y'all should watch this. You know what I'm saying? So it's always an opportunity for us to learn. It's like, it's a lot of synergy in my friend group. You know, it's not 1 + 1 is 2, it's 1 + 1 is 3, because we're always building on what we're doing. But in terms of, you know, the financial literacy in general, honestly, I think it's one of the most important things, period. They don't teach it to us in school. It's the way, it should be a way of life, right? I mean, for you to go out there and say, hey, I didn't learn how to manage any type of money in 18 years of school, probably not even in college, right? I'm sorry, not 18 years of school, 18 years of life, probably not even in college. Now I'm about to be making 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000. And I don't know what to do with it. That should scare you, right? If you think about it, that should scare you. But at the end of the day, that's how it's designed. That's how it's made from the top down, for us to not really know what to do with our money. So I think that's super important for people.
Okay, lit. So now, man, just from hearing you talk about how people can improve themselves, man, you know, I kind of want to transition into something that you do for yourself. You know, something that we're big on and pay attention is just financial literacy, but of course, multiple streams of income, understanding financial freedom within the same context, you know. So I kind of want to highlight Employ the Money. I kind of want to highlight Grandeur Society, because I know that you plug in to an investment group where y'all impact the community. Y'all do toy drives, y'all do can drives, y'all do clothing drives for the community, you know, and y'all allow people to come out. Y'all, you know what I'm saying, just give and be a servant to the community. And of course, I do many other things. And y'all do real estate. I know y'all do investing. I know y'all talk about just networking, and then of course the events that y'all host. You know, it's a lot that Grandeur Society actually does, like networking mixers. You know what I'm saying? Even outside, that a lot of people don't get a chance to really dive in. But, you know, just being a part of a brand that's doing so much for other people, you know, how does it feel to be a part of that? You know, and what have you learned so far?
Man, you hit the nail on the head with that right there. That was a great introduction. So for y'all who don't know about the Grandeur Society, right? It's an organization that me and my friends created. And it's really just for us to brand ourselves in a way that we want to be branded, in the sense that, hey, we all love financial literacy, but we also love to do the regular stuff that people our age like to do. Like, we like to go out and hang out with our friends. We like to have, you know, an occasional get together. We like to go to parties. We like to go to sporting events, et cetera, right? So number one, this is the age of social media. So we show what we do, right? Because if you ain't snap it, it ain't happen. That's what people say all the time, right? So people want to see what you're doing. And then, you know, we like to lead by example. So I am not a real estate guru, okay? I am not a credit savant, right? But between Joe, Justice, and Jeff, right? Somebody coming to me for financial advice on the asset management side or the insurance side or the estate planning side, I can help them. Anything that I can't, boom, I have somebody for you. And that's really what we wanted to create. We wanted to create a society or a community to where, hey, I don't know all the answers, but I know somebody who does, and they're going to tell it to me because the game is free. if you mess with the right people and we're the right people. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So really creating a platform of information from people that's applying on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Just being able to create, like I said, a community to where, you know, we're synergizing each other. You know, iron sharpens iron. And eventually we're going to turn it into something to, you know, we not trying to be copycats by any means, but EYL, Black Wealth Renaissance, right there, like a couple of pages were trailblazing the platform, or really showing people like, hey, I can be a person of color, I can be an expert in this asset space, I can be a business owner, and I can have fun doing it, and I can look cool doing it, and I can be out doing everything y'all doing, wearing the same type of clothes, but making a living off of it. You know, get my family in order, not just, you know, doing this, that, and the third.
Okay, exactly. So using Employ the Money as a brand to also help people understand what not to do.
Exactly. We do talk about some of the good things that we do, but we also highlight some of our failures every now and then, right? Because we try to keep it 100, try to keep it real. I can say myself, me and Justice, and I don't want to call them failures, right? But I'm okay with the word failure. A lot of times people look at the word failure and they get a bad connotation, but it just means that you didn't get the winning result that you wanted. It just means try again, right? But me and Justice, we wanted to, you know, have a food truck right before COVID started. It didn't pan out, right? You don't see me here selling burgers, right? We're going to sell burgers. But at the end of the day, we learned so much from that experience. And I think it you know, it shot us into the next trajectory to where we were really supposed to be at, you know?
Okay, lit. So, okay, that's lit. Okay, cool. Who are some influences that you tune into that really help you know what I'm saying, learn and grow on a daily basis?
Gotcha. And if anybody's watching this, please go search these people. Or if y'all have my Instagram, like I tell you, P4 Profits, just send me a quick DM and I will tell you exactly where to find these resources. But most of the people on the EYL network, most of the people on the EYL platform, you got Rashard, who is part of the original EYL group. He was a financial advisor, so I really looked up to him before he was on the EYL platform. You got the master investor. His name's Ian Dunlap. He's an OG in the investment space. He gives a lot of free game to people, right? Very underestimated guy, right? Overworked and underpaid, if you will. So Ian Dunlap, Rashard, a couple of guys at work. One of my real good friends, his name's Larry Baltazar. He's a wealth management advisor as well. Me and him do a lot of cases together all the time. So I'm one of those people. I do have some pride. I do have somewhat of an ego, right? But I try to squash it and minimize it and kill it as much as I can, because when you can work together with somebody, when you can see another brother or another sister saying, hey, you're doing something really good, like, can I learn from you? Right? That takes a lot of humility. And the more you say that, the more you're going to learn. And the more you learn, the greater you're going to be. So all that to say, it's a long grocery list of people I look up to. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. No, you did. Definitely. Okay. What are some end of the year goals that you have for your business, yourself, before 2023?
Cool. By the end of 2023, I'm giving you all the sauce. But in 2023, me and the guys, we actually are looking at getting an 18-wheeler, getting into the logistics game, because we see how lucrative it can be, right, if you do it correctly. And then really my only other big goal as far as investment wise, or asset management, assets, you know, is to beef up my stocks, right? And that's really just because I want to put some money away, number one, because I feel like we're approaching a recession really soon. I want to be able to make some purchases, whether that's purchasing income, right? And a lot of people don't know what purchasing income means, but basically purchasing some sort of asset that's going to produce an income for you or create cash flow. I'm either going to do that, or I'm just going to let that compound on itself and build on itself. So those are my big goals for the year. Either purchase some income, let that money stack the way it's supposed to, right? Not sitting in the corner collecting dust, but working. And then the logistics game, or getting an 18-wheeler.
Okay, Lid. So what advice can you give to the next person that's watching this when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to taking a dive more deep into understanding the discipline, the patience with, you know what I'm saying, mastering your personal finances now?
Gotcha. It's a journey, man. Like you're only one of the questions I usually ask people is what's your family situation look like, or what is what is the home that raised you look like, right? Because you can only know as much as you've been accustomed to, right? So if you grew up in a household to where you guys never talked about money, or your parents tell you don't ask people how much they make, or this, that, and the third, right? These are a lot of things that we hear as children, but they manifest the wrong way as adults. So I ask people, what are the things that they learn, and listen for the wrong things. So number one, right, a tip is you just got to go out there and read. Like a lot of us don't take the time to go pick up a book and crack it open and read something. And if you're not a big reader, that's okay. Get a podcast, get an audio book, get some sort of knowledge that's going to feed into you on a daily basis. Because we're going to listen to Lil Baby every day. We're going to listen to Kanye every day. We're going to crack open the Instagram every day, or, some sort of Vex, right? So at least at a minimum, if you're not going to cut that stuff out, there's nothing wrong with it. I jam Baby too. If you're not going to cut that stuff out, at least put a positive stimulus in there so you can learn something with that. So definitely just have a daily routine of learning, or a weekly routine of learning. That's number one. Secondly would be like living below your means, right? If you make $100,000, and I kid you not, right? There's people who come into the office all the time who make six figures, but they spend six figures. And it's really good when you've come from a situation where you've lived off $36,000 or you've lived off $50,000, because when you get to that 100,000, you know how to make stuff shake on a smaller level. And now you have $50,000 worth of surplus. Now you can invest $50,000 in a year. Most people can't do that, right? So living below your means is number two. And number three, I would say is work backwards, right? A lot of times we don't take the time to say, hey, this is what I want. Okay, so how am I going to get there? You have to work backwards. Okay, if I want to have a mansion, I want to drive a Maserati, and I want to make sure my kids go to school for free, or my kids don't have student loans, well, work backwards. What does that look like? Kids going to school, 80 grand. I got two kids, that's 160. Okay, if it takes them 18 years to get to the point where they have to go to school, okay, how can I put away money for 18 years to make it equal up to $160,000? These are the questions you have to ask yourself, or I'm gonna ask you, right? If you come to my office, we'll sit down and kick it. But these are the things that we have to do. And life moves fast. And a lot of times people don't take the time to really sit back and think about what they want for themselves or how they're gonna get there. But you have to do that, because at the end of the day, you're gonna get to that stop, you're gonna get to that intersection and you forgot to put your seatbelt on. And if an accident comes, you out the window. You gotta have your seatbelt,
Okay, Liz, so working backwards is really just getting an eagle-eye perspective, looking at the end result, but figuring out what's in between you and the end result, and then taking those steps forward.
Yep. What do they say? People who fail to plan to fail. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have a plan in place, that's like, imagine if you're a super athlete, but you never played the sport a day in your life, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, and you go out to run the plays, the rest of the team is running, you don't know the plays. Like, you're gonna look goofy. Mm-hmm. Same thing that happens in real life. You look financially goofy because you didn't have a plan. So that's all it is. And it doesn't have, like you said earlier, you don't have to be making six figures to have a financial advisor, or you don't have to make six figures to have a plan to be financially savvy. You just have to work backwards, have somewhat education on the financial literacy aspect. And if you don't know, just go ask somebody, because there's plenty of people out there who really just want to teach.
Okay, lit. And what is one thing that you would say people benefit the most when they work with you? What unique trait, what unique skill do you offer to your clients?
I think where I lack in expertise, right? Because it's only my third year. There's people who've been doing it way longer than me for sure. I gain in just understanding, right? Because a lot of times people don't want to sit across from an advisor who's 65 years old and they're probably going to retire in 5 years. How old are you?
22.
22. Okay, so when he retires at 70, he's 65. He retires at 70. You'll be 27. You haven't even reached your maximum income earning potential. Now you got to get a whole new advisor. You have to move your assets across the city to somebody else. Blah blah blah. You got to start all over. But I'm somebody who gets to grow with their clients, right? And not to say that I'm lacking in the knowledge to where I can't help people, right? Because I feel like I do a great job, and my clients probably attest to that. But at the same time, right, when you're 60, I'm going to be 60 for the most part, right? And not only that, but I plan on having a succession plan to where my practice is going to continue to run forever. I want my practice to be something I can give to my kids, whether they want to be financial advisors or not, right? I'll have somebody else running for all I care. But as long as it's owned by the right people, right? As long as your paperwork, right? Your LLC is working the right way it's supposed to be, it's not an issue. So, so to answer your question, I'm relatable, man. I'm never going to judge any of my clients. People come in, we're going to talk, we're going to have a very honest conversation, and you're going to leave with an answer. It might not be the answer you want, but you're going to leave with an answer to your question.
Okay, lit, man. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the openness. I even want to lastly say I appreciate the transparency, man. I think that was something that I felt more attracted towards, and I know a lot of people gained a real honest perspective. So if someone was thinking about it, if someone was hesitating on, is this someone I should reach out to? Yes, make that decision right now, because there's a reason why you're watching this episode right now. But then again, I do want to just lastly end off with a speed round, right? So this is going to be 60 seconds, right? I'm going to just literally ask you questions. You answer them as fast, as quick as you can. And it's going to just be some random questions, just pretty much to find out some likes and dislikes.